Summer is the warmest season of the year, and in its embrace, I issue a warm welcome to this Sunday installment of Jamaica Magazine. It comes with some good news for parents seeking to keep their children active and engaged. I'm Adrian Atkinson. See you on the other side of this break. After COVID breached our shores in March, government had to move aggressively to make sure it couldn't spread easily among the population, especially our children. Daycare centers and other places that accommodate our youngest had to be closed. Now, as Jamaica continues to beat back the virus, there are opportunities for some key operations to resume. Parents, you'll be happy to hear daycare centers and summer day camps are in the mix.
The government has had consultations and have considered the protocols for regulating daycare centers and summer camps. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, daycare centers and summer camps will be reopened with effect as of Tuesday the 21st for a period ending the 31st of July. These facilities must be fully compliant with the COVID-19 protocols where staff members are concerned. The question of temperature checks and other such protocols that are laid down by the Ministry of Health, we are expecting that those protocols will be observed.
Daycare centers should ensure adequate staff supervision of children using the following ratio: children 0 to 12 months, 1 adult to 5 children; children 13 to 35 months, 1 adult to 8 children; children 3 to 5 years, 1 adult to 10 children.
There must be multiple temperature checks available for screening, and these devices, Mr. Speaker, must be clean at all times.
Protocols for daycare centers. Anyone with a fever must be sent home. Children must be observed for signs of runny nose, cough, fever, or gastrointestinal symptoms. An isolation area is to be in place for anyone who exhibits symptoms. All rooms must be cleaned and sanitized at least twice daily. Seating and sleeping areas must be rearranged to ensure at least 3 to 6 feet between each child. And there should be no large groups in common areas.
This order speaks to non-residential summer camp. So we are not opening and advising for summer camps where children are going to sleep over. And these camps will run from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Protocols for summer day camps. Use touchless trash cans for discarding tissues and so on. Seating and sleeping areas must allow at least 3 to 6 feet between each child, and there should be no large groups in common areas.
And we are encouraging a lot of outdoor activities.
Exercise and play must only be done outdoors, and bus trips and other excursions must be done in compliance with physical distancing, mask wearing, and sanitization protocols.
We want to make the point that parents and guardians are not compelled by this order. So we are opening the sector, but if the parent or the guardian feel that they are not ready to send their child out, they are not compelled to do so.
The news on daycare centers and summer day camps is certainly welcomed, but I'm sure you're wondering what else. How can we help children at all ages enjoy the summer holidays? The National Parenting Support Commission called in to get the facts with some ideas.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Many children are this year experiencing a summer with a difference due to the presence of COVID-19. For the older ones, CXC exams are continuing in the summer, and the younger ones may be looking for ways to still enjoy their holidays. Today we are joined by Kesia Carr, CEO of the National Parenting Support Commission in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, who will help us as we plan activities for the upcoming months. Ms. Carr, welcome to the program. So good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Good. Let's start with the role of the National Parenting Support Commission. What's your role and what exactly is this commission?
The National Parenting Support Commission, as an agency of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, was established to ensure that there's parental involvement in the education system. We coordinate support to parents to ensure that they do what they're supposed to do in terms of nurturing, providing structure, providing the kind of resources, protecting, loving their children, and ensuring that their children are safe. So we coordinate a lot of resources to ensure that this happens in each household so that parents can, participate in the education system, because we also believe that when school and home partner, children's performance is improved.
Right. But tell me exactly, how do you coordinate this? What kind of activities do you have? Are the parents involved, or how do you get them involved?
But we have what is known as an effective parenting intervention framework. So whereas our work is proactive, so we do a lot of parenting education, we provide psychosocial support, we provide skills building, because we also look at what parents' interests are in terms of whatever skill sets they would like to develop. We partner with HEART to deliver those. But all the activities fall under the Effective Parenting Intervention Framework. And under the framework, there are several programs. And so we cascade these throughout the educational system.
Okay.
Our flagship program is called, for example, the Parent Mentorship Program. And this is where we train adults, and they now, after 13 weeks of training, go and give peer-to-peer support to other parents, because they're parents who have different needs. Sometimes we have found that it's not that parents don't want to be involved, but there are other circumstances that prevent them being as involved as they would like to. And that is why the other supports are important.
Right.
And when we train other persons to give peer-to-peer support, it's also more needed.
Yes. So how do you identify the parents?
Many times it's through referral, or because we're the Ministry of Education, we have these established programs in schools. We sometimes coordinate, or we're introduced to parents through the Parent Teachers Association. Sometimes it's through referrals. Sometimes persons hear about us and they're interested in one of the programs. Sometimes it's that they just need somebody to talk to because they're going through something and they've heard that we have a service that provides them with free counseling, etc. So there are different avenues. Sometimes it's through partnerships, because the Commission also has several partnerships on the different projects going on. And so it could be that they're attached to specific projects because they would have been a part of a specific cohort that we're targeting.
Yes, yes. So we're targeting all the schools, primary as well as secondary?
Primary as well as secondary.
Okay.
So we have been rolling out our programs across the education system. So we do have a program, for example, called the Parent Place Program, where we have just about 125 parent places attached to primary schools. We recently added about 12 to that list,
yes.
Attached to faith-based institutions and community centers.
Yes.
So this is where parents go and they get varied supports and parenting education through the Commission.
Okay, well, parents are going through a really rough time now. It's summer. It's
Yes,
summer,
yes.
and a lot of children are not going to be going to the regular summer schools. Some daycares won't be open. We know that soon, in another 2 weeks or so, they'll be open. But
Yes.
what kind of support are you giving to the parents, especially now?
You know, in response to COVID-19, the Ministry of Education rolled out a whole lot of services. And as an agency of this great ministry, we established 36 helplines. And this was in partnership with UNICEF, Fight for Peace, and VM Foundation. So we launched 36 helplines where parents could call and they would get myriad support.
Yes.
The persons who man the helplines have been trained in psychosocial first aid. So they're fully equipped to handle whatever challenges parents are experiencing.
Yes.
Through the helplines, we've managed to coordinate support for parents. So initially, there was much concern about food, materials for school, because, you know, everybody went virtual initially. I know the modalities changed because the ministry was very responsive. We went on radio, we added television, but initially the primary modality was through the internet, and some persons didn't have access to the materials, etc., and just to regular teaching and learning. So we managed to ensure that we were getting materials and helping some parents with strategies, and just making sure that they had that level of support.
Right.
So we did have 36 helplines.
Tell me about the helplines.
Well, the helplines are for the most part, 2 per parish, but there are some parishes that we gave a bit more helplines depending on what was happening. So the parishes that were quarantined, for example, or sections of those parishes were under quarantine, we made sure to give more helplines to those parishes. And one of the reasons we had 36 is because we wanted the response to be more immediate. And chances are you would be talking to somebody who you knew, because the persons who were manning the helplines were actually trained from the parish. So these are persons who live in those parishes.
Okay, so you're saying
So
we're manning. Are they still in place, the helplines?
They still are.
How do we get to them? Give us the numbers.
Well, we do have 36 numbers. We've had them on social media. They're on the Ministry of Education's website. I know they're still on the JCIF website, for example. And we've published them through social media and regular media.
Yes.
They're on the UNICEF website as well.
Okay.
So
what are they called?
Can still access them.
What are they called?
Parent Support Helpline.
Okay, good, thanks. We're going to take a break now and come back with more discussion.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're talking about new or different ways through which children can still enjoy this summer despite the global challenges, with Casey Carr, who's the CEO at the National Parenting Support Commission. Okay, so tell us, some schools are going to be able to have summer camps, as the minister told us recently, right? Tell us, what should parents be looking out for, and how should they prepare their children for these camps? There might be camps at church or camps at school. Tell us what we should be doing as parents and what should we look out for.
We really want to continue to stress the safety precautions. Even though we're strategically reopening the economy so that we can return to some semblance of normalcy, the fact is we're all still going through COVID-19. There's still a pandemic out there, and we want to be very responsible. The government can only do so much and no more. I believe it's important that each person remains responsible for himself or herself. With that said, parents need to continue to give guidance and provide children with not just the right, I'm not going to say equipment, the mask and so on. So safety gear so that they remain safe, but they also need information. So you can't say too much to children, wash your hands regularly. You can't say too much, make sure you're practicing social distancing. That is very important. What I have seen out there is that we're still challenged by keeping apart, and because it's just not natural. So I still believe that, especially as children prepare for camps, they still need to make sure they're standing and sitting and they're maintaining social distancing. They must wear their mask. They must continue to wash their hands regularly. Ensure that the campsites are equipped with different stations for hand washing. Of course, we continue to say, give them the hand sanitizers. So in between the hand washing, they're still maintaining that kind of hygiene. They're to make sure that if they're not feeling well, they also tell somebody so that steps can be taken to figure out what's going on with them, because we don't want a situation where they're contracting the virus and nobody knows and they're passing it on. So one of the things we are saying to parents is that they must continue to just advise their children as best as possible.
Right.
And even though we're opening up the economy gradually and we're returning to some kind of normalcy, the fact is we're still going through a pandemic and the safety precautions remain very critical.
Yes. Are you going to be doing any kind of assessment of these camps, or you'll be sending guidelines to those holding the camps or summer school?
Well, it would be great for us to know where the camps will be. So for the schools, most certainly, we will continue to work with the Ministry of Education to ensure that all the guidelines are not only communicated, but they're adhered to. The ministry has been great at ensuring that those protocols schools know, and I think the schools have really been following those protocols very well. But we certainly will be going out and looking and continuing to advise parents through all our platforms to ensure that they're helping their children to keep as safe as possible.
Okay. We understand that many activities are taking place online. How should we choose the ones that are wholesome? What should parents look out for these online programs?
That's a great question, because there's so many programs that look wholesome and they're not so wholesome. I think one of the things that I personally lamented, it was sad for me when I realized that a cartoon was not necessarily a child-friendly thing anymore. Growing up, a cartoon meant, this was friendly enough for a child. No, you have cartoons that are geared, that have adult content. So how do you continue to ensure? You need to vet. You have to maintain a presence, especially for younger children. You want to encourage them to use a family space when they're interacting with the internet, so that you're able to look and monitor what they're viewing. You also have to have these discussions with your children so that they know not everything that looks like it is child friendly is friendly, because there are persons who know what children will gravitate to, and they're specifically building those things with that awareness in mind to lure children into content and even activities that they have no business getting involved in. So, one of the things parents just have to maintain vigilance, to communicate with their children, to show them what to do if content even pops up that they know they're not supposed to be viewing or partaking in. They're supposed to, report this to the parent. And also there are some settings on the different devices that parents should tell their children how to, access those settings so that they remain safe. Yes.
So you have helplines. What other medium do you have for parents to get to you?
Well, parents can continue to call the National Parenting Support Commission. We're 967-7977. These days, we don't encourage you to just walk in. Before now, we'd encourage you to walk in. But because we too have to make sure we're safe, call us and then let's see if we can do a virtual meeting. We can be reached through the different regional offices. that's the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information regional offices. Just call a regional office and they know exactly how to get to us on your behalf. So we're also on social media. Our Twitter handle is at NPSCJA. Of course, the Ministry of Education is in every single parish. So you can contact us either through the regional offices or, through a Ministry of Education landline, and you will get to us.
Right.
And of course, our own phone number.
Yes, yes. I know the ministry is already planning for the opening of school, but what kind of advice do you have for the parents?
The preparation for back to school is going to look a little different this year. And usually back to school is such a pressuring time anyhow, because, parents want to make sure their children have all the resources, all the right things. But included this year, we have to make sure they have masks. And caring for the mask is something that's now of concern to me, because I realize that even persons who are wearing the disposable ones aren't disposing of them. They're wearing them repeatedly, and I don't know how sanitary that is. So you have to make sure that you're looking always at the priorities. What's really essential for your child to have at this time? All of a sudden, it's not necessarily the fanciest shoe and the fanciest bag. We're thinking safety. Certainly, you want to make sure they're equipped with all the books, etc. But I think paramount now is safety. So you still want to make sure you're giving them soap, you're giving them hand sanitizer, you're giving them wipes. They must have enough masks so that when one gets dirty, they still remain protected. They have another one that they can access. And, just continue to make sure they're provided with good nutrition. So those persons who have to give their children lunch to take to school, make sure it's a healthy meal, because these days it's even more important that we're taking care of ourselves, because we have to build up our resistance and our immunity. So make sure, you're packing the right lunches and still try to make sure it's balanced enough so that they can just remain healthy and still alert enough so that they can learn even under this kind of duress.
Just remind us what do you mean by a healthy meal? It's not sugary drink and
right.
So yes.
Well, I think the Ministry of Health and Wellness has been really good with that campaign to reduce the sugar intake. So I know that we definitely need our carbs, especially young children, because they have so much energy. But we want to make sure everything is in the right proportion. So they still need vegetables, they need fruits, they need perhaps less carbs.
And by carbs we mean starch.
Or rice and so on, starch, right. And they also need protein, absolutely. So they need good proteins to eat. So just make sure that the different food groups are present as they pack their meals. And safety also means, at the end of each day, as you prepare for school, at the end of each day and even before, you're reiterating the precautions every morning, but you're also doing the debriefing in the afternoon. It's very important to hear what went on at school, because that's one of the ways for you to keep abreast and to know what you need to be also maybe saying to the school to advocate on behalf of your child.
Yes. Thank you so very much. This
You're
has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Kesia Carr, CEO at the National Parenting Support Commission in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Parents, do all you can to help the little ones as they go through the summer without their usual activities. And remember, help is always just a dial away. Contact the National Parenting Support Commission for more coping strategies and information. Happy summer, everyone, especially our children. Until next time, when Get the Facts brings you, as always, more relevant information. I'm Rose Campbell. Thanks for watching and take good care.
Let's change course a bit right now and address a question you may have never known you need the answer to.
Anna, why you knocking down my door? What is it?
Jackie, I don't know what to do. From Jason dead, I have nothing to give to the children and I don't know where to turn.
So why you didn't go down to the Administrator General's department, the place I told you about the other day?
Lord Jackie, me know you try to help me, you know, but remember say me and Jason never did marry, you know.
What do you mean by that, Anna? The law say if a single man and a single woman live together as husband and wife for 5 years and more immediately before death, then he or she is considered a spouse.
Really? That mean me can't get something then? Cause boy, it rough, you know.
Yes, man, just go down there, tell them about the case, that Jason died, leaving no will, house and children under 18 years. Go down there and see what them can do for you.
A true you're talking, Jackie. Where you say the place there again?
Down a waterfront, man. 12 Ocean Boulevard. Go down there, talk to them and see if them can help you.
Okay, I'm going down there right now.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Good morning, miss. I hear that the Administrator General's department can help me. You see, the children, them father died, leaving me with the 2 pitney them, and I'm me alone I care for them.
Did he leave a will?
Will, ma'am. After Jason never ready for dead, I come from work and drop down dead. My friend tell me say under the law, I'm considered a spouse. By the way, who is a spouse?
Under the Interstates, Estates and Property Charges Act, a spouse is a single man and woman living together as husband and wife for 5 years or more. By living together, the two persons should not have been separated at any time during the 5 years immediately before death. A surviving spouse includes a person who's legally married. That is, he or she went in front of a pastor and took the vow of marriage. If Anna meets the requirements, she can hire an attorney at law or go to the legal aid clinic to apply for an order from the court declaring that she's a spouse. Some of the questions the court will look at are: did Anna and Jason break up during the 5 years? Did Jason have any children born in the same year as Anna's children? The court will also want to know if Anna or Jason were married before and not divorced. Once the order has been granted, the spouse would be entitled to benefit from the estate of the deceased. For further information, you can visit the Administrator General's Department in Kingston, 3rd floor at the Office Center Building, 12 Ocean Boulevard, or call us at 922-183023. You can also visit our Western office at the 2nd floor of the National Housing Trust Building at 42B Union Street, Montego Bay, St. James. Telephone 630-4261. Our website is at www.agd.gov.jm. That's the Administrator General's Department, securing your legacy.
This is about all the time we have for you today, but you know the drill. Jamaica Magazine returns tomorrow. And if you can't wait, there's a lot more to see on our website and YouTube channel. Check them out and spare some time to connect with us on all the social media platforms. Until our next live link up, I'm Adrian Atkinson saying thanks for your company. Be safe, maintain your social distance, and always wear a mask when you're in public.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.